Hello everyone, welcome to Lucia Craft. I'm your host Lucia. Today we have our old friend Ulla.
Hello everyone. And today we also have a new guest here from Finnish Embassy, Timo.
Hello, my name is Timo and I'm the Press and Cultural Counsellor at the Embassy of Finland in Beijing. Welcome to the Embassy of Finland in Beijing for a morning coffee. And you know, as we Finns are big coffee lovers, so today coffee is on me. So let's have a nice chat here and enjoy some Finnish coffee and Finnish chocolate.
So this chocolate are imported from Finland?
Yes.
You do not have the local factory to produce this?
We don't have a local factory, but you can actually buy this one in China. We have a JD.com platform as well where you can buy Finnish chocolates here in the Chinese market.
Okay, try this coffee. It's the Nordic roast?
This is a Nordic roast. You know, even though we don't produce coffee beans in Finland, but we actually have a lot of roasteries in Finland, a long history of coffee making. And Finnish people, we love our coffee.
Yes.
We drink almost 7 cups of coffee per day on average.
But in China, Yunnan, we also have the coffee bean. We plant coffee bean. So, have you ever been to Yunnan before?
I have been for a holiday. I once went to southern Yunnan, to Banna, that area, you know.
Sysio and Banna.
Yes.
Yes.
Very beautiful rainforest area. I loved it. It was summertime and it's lots of good food, interesting sights, and it's very different, you know, being based in Beijing. Yunnan felt like a very different kind of place. But it wasn't the kind of Yunnan that I knew from before, because I was expecting, you know, mountains and like Shangri-La style and these Yunnanese cheese. Have you been?
Unfortunately, Yunnan is still on my list.
Okay.
Yes. I only drink Yunnan coffee. I buy the beans and I have a coffee machine at home, so I don't buy the Finnish roast coffee, even if we can buy that online as well. So I buy the beans from Yunnan. I think they are the best beans.
Timo, how many cities have you been during your stay in China?
I was just coming here in early 2000s for the first time, and then going to university in China. I studied in Hong Kong and lived there for about 7 years. So during that time I was traveling quite a bit in mainland China as well. So I suppose more than 20 cities, definitely. It was quite different from Finland, very different from my surroundings, having been, you know, raised up in the Nordics.
Yeah.
So it was fun to travel and so many different places to see. And so that means that so many different climatic areas, so many different kind of cultures, cities, from east to west, north to south. So it's been quite a journey.
Before you came to China, what's your impression of China? And when you came to China and after this year's stay, what are the changes?
I've been somehow connected to China for 20 years, more or less, like coming back and forth. So China also has changed a lot in 20 years. I still feel impressed about is just the scale and the size of everything. The cities are big. They have a lot of interesting architecture and design. In Beijing, you have the Forbidden City and all the temples and whatnot. But then when you go outside, you find in Shanghai the French concession. I was in Guangzhou last week and they have all those beautiful islands with 1800s buildings. When you go to Dongbei, they have also, you know, buildings from early 1900s and even older ones. So I just think there is a long history to the place and so many layers to the country.
And what about Ulla?
I came as a tourist 1990. So it's and like Timo said, that time China was very different from now. So I guess also the daily culture has changed a lot from those times. Now this is a super modern society, and later on in the end of 90s, 97, I also came here as an exchange, and I chose the traditional Chinese medicine university because that is so much connected with the culture, and I wanted to understand how Chinese people really think.
in your opinion, the differences between the Nordic design and the Chinese design?
You know, Finland, we are definitely quite famous for our design and our architecture. We have a long history of, you know, for example, tableware making as well as architectural design. I think our design usually is based on, especially on sustainability, on making things long-lasting, making things simple. And then coming to your question about Chinese design, China of course has a huge, long history. In recent decades, now the Chinese design scene has started to flourish. You can see young Chinese architects who have been rising since the 1990s more and more, and also younger Chinese designers. And I think what I love about, you know, being in Beijing, being in China, is this like younger design scene that takes inspiration from traditional design, but connects it to today and makes it relevant in the 21st century. And I think that's always a sign of a good design, that you can make, you know, things relevant to today.
As a press and cultural counselor, do you have many chances to contact with these young designers?
Luckily, I get to meet quite a lot of designers at work. We organize events quite a bit. We organize also seminars and workshops, especially with local students and universities. I think, you know, connecting to the younger audience is always very fruitful.
So do you always arrange these events?
We try to organize as many public events as possible. For us, public events are the best platform to connect to new groups of people. So, for example, the event that you joined, Tove Jansson's book launch, was a major event because Tove Jansson is one of the most famous Finnish writers and illustrators, and her biography was published in Chinese for the first time a few weeks ago. So we were very happy to invite Chinese Moomin fans and Tove Jansson's fans to the embassy to hear more about the book and discuss the meaning of Tove Jansson to modern literature and modern animation. So we try to make, whenever we can find a good platform to do something, we try our best. So we oftentimes connect with Chinese organizations to co-organize events, because then that will bring us new audiences and new people as well.
The 23rd this month we'll arrange the movie night, right?
Yes. Luckily, you know, a Finnish film is competing this year at the Beijing International Film Festival. So we are organizing a film screening to showcase this film, especially to the Chinese movie industry professionals, producers, and people that we could in the future cooperate with in the movie industry. Because quite a lot of Chinese filmmakers, they shoot their films in Finland. We have had this kind of active cooperation. So, you know, trying to find new ways to connect and bridge the gap between the two countries. That's our work here, basically.
So in the future, are there any areas that can further strengthen the cooperation between China and Finland?
Definitely. I think there are many areas of cooperation. One thing is, of course, business side cooperation. We see eye to eye on issues like climate change mitigation and sustainable development. This is something that China takes very seriously, and we in Finland definitely take seriously, and we have a good track record of companies and innovations in green growth. So I think this would be an area where we can definitely find cooperation potential, but also hopefully in culture. As I said, you know, co-production of films in the future could be an area. More and more people-to-people contacts. Very good platform is student exchange and different kind of visits between the two countries. So it's a long line of cooperation potential actually with our countries.
Of course, because we are the group of the companies, so that is all about the cooperation with the Chinese partners. So and we have a lot of very good Chinese organizations to organize events together with us, so we can do a lot of matchmaking and give the companies a lot of counter partners and leads. We also try to be involved in a cultural exchange in our own way, and that's why we also organize a lot of social events.
Yes, but when we talk about exchanges, we just like more Finnish people know China and like more Chinese people know Finland. My guess, do you have any recommended way to let the two sides people to know more about each other?
Just to come here, I really encourage all the people to come here, because when you hear the media and sometimes very kind of old-fashioned ideas what China is today, every time a person comes here, the mindset will change because of the speed of the development and progress in China is amazing. I don't think any other country in the world with this population could reach the same. So coming here is, I think, the best thing to do.
I couldn't agree more. I think, you know, if you can go to Finland, that's the best way to experience everything, because the first-hand experience, the smells, the taste, the visuals, all that is so much stronger than just, you know, hearing from somebody else. As Ulla said, I would encourage Chinese people to go to Finland if they can. Also Finnish people to come to China, because we, of course, for work, try to explain to the Finnish side, to our government officials, for example, what China is all about. But you know, it's much easier if you come here and experience it firsthand.
Yes.
On top of that, I understand not everybody can travel between the two countries, but try to please join our events, because then you'll meet more Finnish people. These people-to-people contacts are very important. Follow us on social media. You can see nice clips about Finland and about our life. And I think when we understand other people at the personal level, that gives a much stronger impact than just hearing facts about other countries.
And this February, there was an event, Hello Beijing, was held in Finland. You know that?
Yes, I actually, luckily I was in Helsinki at that time on a business trip, so I joined some of the activities myself.
Oh, can you share more details about this event?
Yeah, so that was actually a series of events organized around the Chinese New Year. So, you know, institutions from China took, for example, the traditional dragon dance to Finland to showcase to the Finnish general public in places like Helsinki airport. And it was fun to see, you know, our Chinese friends in Helsinki. And I think a lot of people were very interested seeing these kind of very active, bright colors in the middle of Finnish winter there.
I think this Chinese New Year party in Finland has grown bigger and bigger every year. Nowadays, everybody knows it. So it's also very interesting.
So it's a quite good way for the Finnish people to know more about China. So for them, is there any more ways that they can know China before they just come to China?
Considering the small population of Finland, we have quite a big Chinese community by now in Finland. You can easily find good Chinese food in Finland. So you have restaurants, you have ways to, you know, find Chinese cinema, Chinese TV series. Now a lot of people can watch these on streaming platforms to learn more. So I think China is much more accessible than before for the Finnish audience already beforehand.
If I look back, even at the time, why I decided to come for the first time to China in 1990 is because I had a very good Chinese friend, and she said, "Why don't you come? Let's go to visit my home city." I said, "Okay, let's go." So one good way is to make friends with Chinese.
How time flies. Even I have a lot more questions I want to ask you, but maybe we can leave them and we can talk, we can share for next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you so
for your
much.
time.
Thank you.
Let's say bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you next time.